Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Nerd Rant. I'm Dr. Zombie Norson, and I have news, and JJ has news. JJ, you go first.
Wait, what's my news?
I don't know. You got a really expensive purchase, like really expensive.
Oh, yeah. I bought a house. No,
Gamer
I got
house,
a car.
Nerd Rant house. Let's go.
Yeah, woo, got a house specifically for Nerd Rant. Let's go. Branding it. No, I got a car.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a dinky little 2005 Chevy Cobalt.
It's not terrible.
It is what it is. It's
it
got
looks
crank
good.
windows.
It's
got cranks.
I also got a purchase. We upgraded to a PC from the laptop. So, we're going to apologize right now if I sound a little awkward. We think it sounds good, but I also set my hertz rate to 384,000, and I don't know if that's going to break it or not.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll find out, What's the worst that can?
We've had some scuffed episodes before, so it can't be that bad, right?
Probably.
Anyway, what are we doing today, JJ? Also, who are you?
I'm JJ, aka Junior Wolf, and this is Nerd Rant.
And what are we discussing today?
We're discussing... Hold on, I need to go turn off my fan.
Okay, you turn off the fan. I'm going to explain what we did. So I was away for a few weeks, and for whatever reason, while I was gone, everything happened. As in the events of like everything. So this is going to be a two-parter. Today we're going to be doing a few of them, then we're going to do the rest next week. So today we're going to be doing the PlayStation State of Play and the Xbox Showcase and the Summer Games event.
Summer Games Fest.
Games Fest. Next week we're going to do Apple, we're going to do Ubisoft, Nintendo Direct, and some others, whatever we find within the week.
Figure it out.
So, yes. Where do we want to start? There's a lot.
Well, I guess we should start with the first one that happened, so that would be Summer Games Fest. We can go as they happened. So I know you said you didn't actually see anything.
Yeah, I said I was away for 2 weeks. I was in Virginia. I was in a swamp. So most of the stuff I didn't really watch. I watched like some Twitter stuff happening because I had poor connection.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. So for anyone who doesn't know, Summer Games Fest is basically the other side of the year counterpart to the Game Awards. Same people, same place, just they needed another show to kind of cover the stuff that happened on the other half of the year. So that's pretty much what Summer Games Fest is.
So
get,
worse
stars
E3
to announce stuff. Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, this is like Summer Games Fest and the Game Awards are like the only one where they can actually get all the brands to come together and show their trailers because people like doing their individual shows now. But this is like the more significant one. So they had quite a few reveals at this show. We had like a Harry Potter game, the Quidditch Champions, that, has had a beta, I think, over the past year. That one is coming out, and it's actually releasing straight to console and PC, which not many people suspected.
Okay.
But it's exciting to see, consoles actually getting some day one love.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else was there? There was a showcase for Star Wars Outlaws and for Assassin's Creed Shadows. However, they were smaller because they had their bigger in-depth reveals later on. So we got a few trailers for those, but nothing too significant.
We'll probably talk more about those in depth next week in the Ubisoft showcase.
Yeah. So this one caught a lot of people off guard. There was Lego Horizon Adventures, which did they have something at the PlayStation one? Did they show that off, or was it just this? Okay.
Actually, there was a Lego. I remember there was a Lego thing.
Okay. Yeah. No, but this one is a first, absolutely, because every Lego game thus far, at least to my knowledge, has been a multi-platform release. It's not been a console war side chooser in any way. But seeing as this one is dealing in a PlayStation IP, like Horizon is a PlayStation staple. So it's interesting to see that, one, Lego even accepted this as an offer, and that, two, Horizon, of all things, is the one to get a Lego game. Like, both of those are kind of shocking to me.
Yeah.
Because, there's a lot of PlayStation stuff that I could see getting a Lego game.
Ratchet and Clank?
Yeah, Ratchet and Clank, that'd be a great contender. It's already a kid-centered IP, but has enough depth there that you could absolutely do something in the Lego universe. And then the Astrobot, is it?
Mm-hmm.
That one is, it's a kind of a catch-all for whatever they wanted to do. They could even add some kind of references to their other IPs in there because it's Astro Bot. It's just PlayStation's, mascot. So they easily could have turned that into a Lego game, but they went Horizon, the game that is not geared toward children, the game that is such a weird landscape for a Lego game. And I get it, there are actually some Horizon Lego sets out there. Like, I've seen a couple. My buddy bought one. They look awesome, but not what I would have initially expected.
Yeah, I'm looking
for
through
a Lego
the game page on the PlayStation website. It looks cool, but yeah, for a PlayStation Lego game, like that does not seem like the priority.
Yeah, but here's the other weird thing. It's releasing on Switch too. So,
what?
We get a PlayStation IP Lego game that is also releasing on Switch.
But not just Xbox, because, okay, I get not Xbox, but not PC either. That's the big thing. A lot of stuff's on PC and PlayStation.
Actually, I think it's coming to the Epic Game Store.
Is it?
I think so.
Okay, then it's
Pretty
not
sure.
that big.
Yeah.
There's a lot of games that are on everything except Xbox or everything except PlayStation.
Yes, but Switch?
I mean,
it's just weird to me. Switch, really?
By the way, random thing that we're bringing up Lego. I saw a video about, the history of Lego and everything, because I watched this guy, and it's like, oh, what did you do? And most people have committed war crimes or created weapons for war. But Lego has stayed kid-friendly. So did Play-Doh. Play-Doh is also great.
Definitely.
How much, I don't know what to Google right now, but it's, one of the most profitable toy company right now, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
By a lot.
Yeah. Lego's big. Really big.
But okay. Is this what you were telling me you were going to wait for?
Pardon?
You said there was something that you wanted my reaction from. Was this
Oh,
it?
no, not that. That's a different thing.
There's another thing. Okay.
Yeah, that's another. That's more of I want your opinion on it.
Okay. Yeah, no, this is interesting. I'll see.
Yeah. It looks like a really fun multiplayer one, not gonna lie. So maybe if and when I get a PS5 to duel my Xbox, I will probably play that.
Yeah.
But yeah, here's the other crazy one that got announced at Summer Games Fest. There is a new Batman Arkham game coming out. But wait, it's a VR game. So you know Batman Arkham, huge series, great games across the board, many lovers out there. And then the long-awaited sequel to the franchise is a VR game. Only on MetaQuest 3. So this isn't even PC VR, mind you. This
Batman
is
Arkham
MetaQuest
VR?
3. Yes, it is Batman Arkham Shadow.
Oh, okay.
New game.
Arkham.
Sequel to the series. But it's only on MetaQuest 3.
Okay, it looks like there was another Batman VR game that was on the PlayStation VR.
Oh.
That's why I was confused. Cool. Because I'm like, no, it says
Was it an Arkham game, or was it...
I Googled it, and it was Batman Arkham VR.
Oh, okay.
Came out in 2016.
Okay. No, this one is a huge canonical, fully fleshed out Batman Arkham game in VR, which, is a really cool idea. I'm sure people who have VR are going to love this because, you get to be freaking Batman
this is gonna
in
be
Arkham
a cool game
in VR. Yeah.
But to only be on MetaQuest?
Only MetaQuest.
Now, actually, random thing about MetaQuest. Because I completely forgot that it used to be Oculus. I forgot that they're the same thing. Did you see that the guy behind the Oculus has been completely out of the VR space since he was fired or left for whatever unknown reasons from Meta? He hasn't done anything. He actually said he's been working on something, and it's going to be announced at the big VR Expo later this year.
Dang, bro.
The father of VR. Am
That'll
I wrong?
be cool.
So I saw that's going to be pretty coming, so I'm definitely going to try to keep my eye out for that. Because VR, I get that the Apple Vision Pro is not mainstream, but it definitely has brought more attention to VR.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to see where we can possibly go, and if it can be more affordable and mainstream.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be really cool.
Yeah, that was just really interesting to see that was the sequel choice they went with. But excited to see how that performs.
So
here's a random one to mention because I'm talking to you, so why wouldn't I mention it? There was a new Dragon Ball game that got announced, Sparking Zero.
That's been announced a while ago. It looks really good. I'm not a huge fan on those types of games, so that's why I don't care too much. Here's
I'm
something
not
that's
either,
interesting.
but like in terms of what I've seen of these kinds of games, this looks cinematic.
Oh
dude.
no, these are some of the best. I don't like the genre in general, but if you play it, this is one of them. The Dragon Ball games, and this one is very interesting as it is extremely unbalanced. But that's what people wanted, and I've seen a lot of praise for that because it doesn't make sense. So I'm gonna list some characters, and I'm gonna see if you know him. Goku, you know Goku,
yeah?
Right? Do you know Krillin?
No.
He's the bald guy that doesn't have a nose.
Small child-looking guy.
So he's one of the strongest people on Earth. In the grand scheme of things, he's not that strong, right? In all of it. Do you think he could beat Goku?
No.
Do you think he'd beat a God of Destruction?
No.
No, he can't. Not even a chance. He stands no chance. And that's how it is in game 2.
Interesting.
So, like, you are at a significant disadvantage. Significant. But people want that because it doesn't make sense if somehow Krillin is on the same wavelength as Ultra Instinct Goku. Like, I get for balancing reasons, but for any common sense, that just doesn't make sense. So they didn't. They didn't do it that way. They made it make sense, which is really cool. Like, you don't see games like that much. So, and a mindset like that in fighting games like this. So I'm very excited to see where that goes. But that also means if you do somehow win as like Krillin or another character, if you guys know Yamcha, and you do beat like Super Broly, you're going to feel really good about yourself. And you also have massive bragging rights because you should not have won.
Yeah.
So that's all I know about that game. It does look very good. Like I said, just not a genre I care about. But... is that it?
Here's
more?
some. No, there's a little bit more here. So this one is intriguing. So I know we both haven't really played that many horror games, but you know Blumhouse, right?
I've heard of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So they did the FNAF movie. They did the recent one, Megan. They did what was the one big horror franchise? I forget. They are really big on horror, and so they are now making a games division, Blumhouse Games, and they are basically taking those storytellers that they endorse for those movies that really have done amazing and having them translate those stories into games because there's so much more freedom there. So I'm really excited to see where this goes because it's not just like your realism kind of games. It's like pixelated games. You got like retro games. You got those realism games. You also have like cozy games like Stardew Valley, but with a horror twist. It's like really exciting to see.
Should we be worried if they also make a VR game? 'Cause that sounds terrifying.
That does, yeah. Yeah. But no, I'm really excited to see what they have in store.
No, yeah, that's going to be one of those things that I probably won't play because I don't do well with horror, but I'll definitely be intrigued on how it goes and seeing the ratings and reviews and stuff like that as they come out. That sounds really intriguing.
Yeah. All right. I think that's it for the most part. There's console Valorant too that's worth mentioning that got announced there. So,
well, hey, guess what? That happened. It's out.
It did happen.
We've both played.
I'm trying it. It's not bad.
Yeah,
not bad.
So, cool. Is that it then?
Yeah. I think that's about it.
So I think next was PlayStation. So I don't have too many games because. So, a lot of them are cool. I just didn't care too much for them. And I want to talk a little bit about it later once we go over some Xbox stuff. But there's two big games and rumors I want to talk about. First, Marvel Rivals. What do you think about that?
I'm excited to see it. I think, to be completely honest, I think this could be the Overwatch killer.
I don't think it's going to be the Overwatch killer. But it's going to be competition. And we can hopefully see some improvement.
Well, the way it's set up is definitely meant to fight Overwatch.
It is. Like, it's supposed to be Overwatch.
This wants to steal their audience. You know, and I think it has the potential to. You know, I think it absolutely. If they communicate with the community right and they
Which
you know,
we'll
treat
get into.
the game with
We'll
love,
get into,
then I
'cause
absolutely
that's not
think it
looking
will
good.
overtake.
The thing is, I feel like with these two is there's just such a rooted esports and like community in Overwatch already. Like especially like even in high school, like that level of esports, Overwatch is big. My school got second. I forget if it was in the state or nationally. So it's going to be a lot harder to get away from a game like Overwatch when it has that kind of community. The PS5, there's a PS5 closed beta in July. But here is where I'm a little worried, and I don't know if you saw this, apparently in terms of service with content creators, there is a thing that says they can't diss the game. They can't speak negatively about it.
Oh?
This happened a while ago. It could change. I might have seen this when the Summer Games event, so maybe there was something there.
I think, well, okay, so
I'm not
what I'm thinking
sure.
here is the image I'm seeing from the PlayStation event is saying it is a closed beta, and usually the case with closed beta is they do have that kind of clause in there. Oftentimes they'll have a clause, you're not allowed to record anything about it, but if, you know, you're invited to the beta and they do allow you to publicize you playing it, then oftentimes they'll say, like, you're not allowed to, you know, negatively tweet about this scene as it is.
So maybe it's just for the beta and not the main game.
Yes, I'm thinking that is what it is.
Let's hope so, because
if that's still there after full release, then that's
what I'm already worried about. Because then if somebody says something good about it, it could be one of two things. It could be something good, or they're just being paid to. Like you can't believe it anymore, and they're not gonna. They're probably not gonna be able to tell you. Yeah, I was paid to say it's good. Like, so it's gonna be really hard to get a good grasp from like reviewers and like content creators. So let's hope it is the beta. Maybe it is. I didn't think of that. Like I said, just a video I saw, but this definitely puts a little worry in me for the game. But I'm excited to see where it goes. And like I said, I don't think it's an Overwatch killer, just like I don't think XDefiant is an Overwatch killer, but it will give competition to these big studios that really have not been caring about us much. And then the other thing, which is very recent after this, but a rumor of the original God of War series getting a remake. Which is very exciting. I've seen some mixed... I know plenty of people that God of War 2018 is one of their favorite games of all time. But I've also, in the replies to some of these, I've also seen that a lot of people like the original God of War significantly better than the new two. So, I don't know. I haven't played it. I was thinking maybe I can play it because I can get some of them on like the PS3 version on PS5. But if this comes, this is going to be great. And I've also seen from either the people that do or don't think it's better, do say it stood the test of time. It just would need that graphical performance. So I'm very excited. Like I said, that's a rumor, but if that does come, that's going to be really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I personally would even love to play those games. So the
I would
possibility of them maybe even coming to
Ragnarok and God of
PC
War.
like that.
Yeah.
Because it seems like PlayStation is absolutely pushing their PC front a little bit more, which is definitely good to see. Like, that is...
Yeah.
It's needed to happen for a little while, so I'm glad they're starting to do it. But I think the best way to go is this kind of like, let's give the older games in the series to, you know, people on PC, and then release our newer stuff and wait a year or two before releasing that on PC. That way, you know, they still can drive up their console sales, because I get it, they have a business and they need to, you know, get people to buy consoles.
Because as compared to Xbox, consoles are significantly more important to Sony.
Yes, absolutely. So, you know, that kind of like year or two waiting for the new games, but, you know, give them the older stuff, get them excited about the series and the franchise, so that when the new game comes out, they buy a console to play it.
Kind of like how Spider-Man 2018 came out on PC, remastered, around the same time as Miles Morales. Came out on PS5 exclusively. So yeah, maybe that could happen. Maybe there's a new God of War or something like that, and maybe it's just rumors that it's in development, but maybe when that happened, who knows? There's, like I said, it's just rumors. But like I said, I don't like story games, but I really do like the 2018 God of War. I've been playing Ragnarok. I don't like it as much, but I've been playing New Game Plus, the 2018, and I really enjoy it. So I'd love to play the original 3.
Yeah. And I will actually counter your rumor here with another rumor that I saw is the original Halo game is apparently being actively like rebuilt, not like a graphical remaster, like a full-on rebuild like Dead Space was. And it's, rumored to be for the purpose of also releasing it on PlayStation. They want to start the Halo franchise over there. Even if it's not the newest games over there, at least get some of them over there so that, they're fans of the Halo franchise. But the first Halo game was awesome, and it has been so long since we've seen it in good graphics. So getting the kind of gameplay that we have with Halo Infinite now on CE would be crazy. Like, that'd be awesome.
That sounds cool. I might have to check that one out. So these are both rumors to be determined, but I wanted to bring that one up because, like I said, especially with Ragnarok and all, and because that was like the main game that the PS5 came with.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring up the original, maybe. What if they came with the PS5 Pro?
Bruh.
Which, by the way, I have been seeing some more just people mentioning the PS5 Pro. Still no confirmation, but it's rumored to come be announced like November and be available holiday season. So let's get into the Xbox stuff. And we're going to end with Call of Duty. Like, we'll have some other stuff after, but we'll do all the Xbox general stuff.
This one, at least for me, was the denser of all three events.
It was for everyone, I think.
Yeah, no. Even if you look at, PlayStation and Summer Games Fest combined, I don't think it had nearly as many franchises that everybody would be excited about. So this is definitely the biggest. So I have 2 images here of just everything that was said. I'm just going to go down the list. We got Call of Duty Black Ops 6, obviously. We got the Indiana Jones game. Another Gears of War, which, big franchise. We got a Doom game set in medieval aesthetics, which is freaking
that was really like
crazy.
It was crazy when he just pulled out those chainsaw shield,
right?
Just chucked it. I'm like,
Doom is absolutely suited to that environment, so I'm so excited to see that. Then we have Avowed, which I don't know much about this one, but it looks like kind of almost like a Skyrim kind of thing, but more magic based. So that'll be interesting. Then we have Diablo, which is
DLC.
It's kind of like a DLC, but I also wanted to note that they are releasing it at a full game price.
Wait, what?
Yeah, no, this DLC, which adds 1 new class and some story stuff, you can buy 3 different versions of. There's the $40 DLC, there's the $60 version, then there's the $100 version that all come with different levels of, like, additional cosmetics and boosters and all that stuff.
There's a $100 DLC for Diablo 4.
Yes. Because I went to look, I was like, because I own the game and it's also on Game Pass, so I was like, I wonder how much it would be to get the DLC so that I could play with Lexi, I look, and here, let me just pull it up here. Diablo.
Who makes Diablo?
No, that's a great question. Blizzard, I think?
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. Diablo.
I was about to bash another game studio. Oh, it's just Activision Blizzard. That sounds like an Activision Blizzard thing, to be honest. Okay, I'm not too surprised anymore.
Here it is. Vessel of Hatred. So, the base edition, $35. Second edition, $53. Third edition, $80. And that's all with my Game Pass discount. That's 10% off.
Thank God.
Like, that's insane for a DLC, dude. You're making me pay a full premium game price. Like, that's crazy.
Speaking of DLC, Elden Ring DLC just came out. Just want to mention that. Looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it is the highest rated DLC of all time.
Not only that, I saw some info on it coming out. Apparently, not a lot of people could play it because you had to beat an optional boss that very few people beat. So it was you had to be good enough to try the DLC, and the game literally would not allow you to access it until you were good enough.
That's wild.
Which is good, because the Elden Ring is the type of game that would need that.
Yeah. There was Flight Simulator, World of Warcraft, which, is that really still going?
Yeah. Wow, it's
like 20 years old at this time, bro. We got a new Dragon Age game. There's Assassin's Creed, Stalker, don't know what that is. Age of Mythology, don't know what that is. Fable, trailer looked awesome for that. So excited for that to come out. A game called Mixtape looked interesting. Perfect Dark, which we will get back to because that one is interesting. Expedition 33, which also looked pretty cool. South of Midnight, meh. A Starfield DLC got announced. They also released mods for Starfield, which I downloaded Starfield just so I could put the Star Wars mods on and play Star Wars Starfield.
Right.
It's pretty fun. State of Decay, biggest zombie franchise ever, so great to see that that's getting a sequel. Wu Chang.
Wushing, Fallen Feathers.
Yep, no words. Elder Scrolls Online, Metal Gear Solid, Delta? I think that's the symbol. But yeah, that looks pretty cool. Fallout 76 got DLC. Life is Strange is getting a sequel. Sea of Thieves got an update. Atomfall, Flintlock, Winterborough, Fragpunk, and Mecha Break.
Cool. So, I want to start with my top 5. Because these are all going to be from, like I said, it's not that I don't, it's just these seem a little bit more interesting. I will say, I'm not too sure. Originally, I said I was excited for State of Decay. These are also all games I'm going to play. Like, I will play. State of Decay I was going to, but now I'm unsure if it's going to be on PS5 or not. When it came out, I saw a screenshot and it was on that list, but then I had this Reddit post of everything that came up, and I went to the website and I didn't see it. So I'm not sure. That's to be determined. A lot of these games are coming a lot later. That's the other thing. A lot of PlayStation games are coming a lot sooner than the Xbox games. So Black Ops 6. Shocker, I know. Assassin's Creed Shadows. I am kind of looking forward to that. Like I said, we're going to talk more about that next week. But I do think this might be my first launch Assassin's Creed game. Stalker 2, actually. So the first 3 to 6 months are going to be Xbox exclusive, but then it's going to come to PlayStation. So it looked really interesting, some stealth type gameplay. But then what I also am excited about, it's made by Ukrainian game studio. So, Whitlock, The Siege of Dawn. That one actually looked really interesting. From what I saw, because again, I don't play a lot, it kind of reminded me of some God of War gameplay, like the axe, just mixed in with a pistol.
Yeah.
It looked really cool. And then it's actually, my 5th one is Wu Chang Fallen Feathers. That one looked really cool too. So there's a lot of other ones that looked really good, but those are my top 5 that I have a very high chance of trying out.
Yeah, I definitely think, just a side note here, I think that for the indie games, or the more indie games that were on this list, I think they showed them in the perfect kind of way, because a lot of them actually got gameplay reveals. And so in terms of indie games, normal trailers don't go very far for them, because people are like, oh, that doesn't look very great. But showing off the gameplay that they're going to give you is actually a really good move, because then, people are like, oh, this kind of looks really fun. Despite, not knowing what the story is going to be about, so people might actually try it.
There's some other ones that looked really interesting. Again, just not all of them were on PlayStation or what. That parallel universe, Life is Strange, right?
Yeah.
That looked really cool. Is that that I'm guessing that seems more indie. Is that indie? That just feels indie.
I don't know. I it's very popular. Like, that franchise is big, so I don't know if it qualifies as indie, but yeah.
But anyway, did you have a list?
Go ahead and follow suit here,
and
I'll do top 5. So obviously, Assassin's Creed Shadows is going to be my number 1. Big shock there for everybody. I know, but yeah, so hyped for that game. Then I'd say probably Fable would be my number 2. I loved the Fable games, so I'm very excited to see where they take the series. I think Perfect Dark is probably my number 3. That game looked freaking awesome, and it's like a mix of Cyberpunk and Assassin's Creed, so I'm very excited to see where that goes. Indiana Jones, probably my number 4. Then probably Call of Duty be number 5.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I had a list here, and I want to bring this up because not to bash anyone, it's just a point. And definitely a W for Xbox here. I see a lot of people complaining and showing what Xbox and PlayStation had at their showcases, and say, because everyone's been saying Xbox doesn't have games, and then they showed the showcases. what people are talking about when they say that are the exclusives. Xbox doesn't have nearly as many good exclusives. Like, there's plenty. Like, God of War Ragnarok, like I said, is still a huge game. Astro Boy, etc., etc. Because I'm going to list off all the games that are coming to PS5. God of War Black Ops 6. Did I say Call of War?
You did.
Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Doom the Dark Ages, which means I might play that one. Dragon Age, Fallout 76, Claire Osborne, Metal Gear Solid it is Delta, Sea of Thieves, Flintlock, Diablo 4, Life is Strange, so I might play that one. Mecha Break, that looks really funny. Assassin's Creed, Wu Shang, Atomfall, Mixtape. Mixtape was really interesting. I just want to mention, I don't know if you saw, what was it? It was one of the first ones on the PlayStation 1. They're pretty much both studios are making a shooter. Interesting shooter, which is really funny with X-Defiant coming out and the hype between Black Ops. It looks like shooters is kind of back with finals and everything, so that's really cool.
Yeah.
And then needs confirmation, Stalker 2, Fragpunk, and Winterboro. And a lot of those are coming next year. But it's just kind of funny, like I said, this is definitely a W, because barely, like I said, PlayStation didn't have as many, but most of them are PlayStation games, whereas these are just everywhere. PC, Xbox, and PlayStation.
Yeah, which honestly is really good for Xbox, because that means now all the people that watch PlayStation events are going to come and watch Xbox events, because the majority of them are probably going to come to PlayStation. So they don't have to buy an Xbox console. Like, if I were to go watch a PlayStation event, I probably wouldn't be able to play anything there because I have an Xbox. But it's now a case of people will come watch this even if they don't have an Xbox, because they will likely get the games.
Because I still think this is where Xbox really needs, and I think this is what they're going to do. PlayStation, like we just said, they're focusing more on console sales. Like, they make so much from console sales. Whereas Xbox is more on games and the subscription, not the console. I still think they lose money on console sales.
Yeah.
So, that makes sense. So, if they can just focus on making really high-quality games for everyone, and then maybe a handful exclusives that either temporarily or are permanent exclusives for, like, longer term, I think that's going to be the benefit of Xbox, and everyone, really.
Yeah.
Now, they did also announce 3 new consoles, which are very interesting for their... I'm guessing this is their refresh. I don't know.
Yeah, see, I'm not sure if you can really call this a refresh, because... So, I guess we should say what they are. So
I have it pulled up, so, with all the cost. So, you have the Black Series S, which will be for $349. It's going to be 1 terabyte. Again, that's a digital. We have a White Series X for $449. That's also digital. That's 1 terabyte. But then the big one is the Galaxy Black, but instead of like purple, it's green. With a disc, Series X, for $600. But it has 2 terabytes of storage. Which is solid. But, like, why are you getting, like, a digital... Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a little weird.
It's questionable. As the standard Series X, which is what I have, has 1 terabyte. So, it's good to sell a console that has that, additional space, because presumably it'll still also have the slot or 2 for the expansion card, so you could still
it's not just
expand
the space,
it beyond that.
Because there's Series, I'm guessing Black and White Series S that also have a terabyte. The thing is, it has a lot more performance. If I remember correctly, it's something like 2.4 teraflops for the S, whereas the X has around 12 teraflops. So it's going to have a lot better performance.
Yeah, I definitely think so. And they did technically specify in the showcase that this was more just so people can get the color for their console that they want, rather than, having any significant upgrades or whatnot.
More
this
like
is
the
just
Slim
like, hey,
of
if
the
you
PlayStation.
want a White X, then here you go.
Yeah, this is going to be more like the Slim of the PlayStation than like...
Yeah. It's cool that they're doing this. It's just not, it's not really needed. It's not what people were really asking for. I know there were people who wanted like different versions of these consoles, but...
So question, is there a way to take off the case of the Xbox?
Presumably.
So, but not easily?
I don't know. I have not tried to do so.
Because with a PlayStation, one of the nice things is the covers pop off very easily, and that's like we don't see a lot of the colors because some of the like special editions, like there's a Spider-Man one, and they have custom cases, and you can buy them. So you can buy ones with fan slots or like a nice bright red, gradient red, like all of these. So there's a lot of customization. So we don't see stuff like this from PlayStation just because they already give you the ability. And some of them are sold by PlayStation, some of them are third party, but like it's designed to be taken off for customization.
Yeah, so it seems like Xbox has only just started going down that route. They themselves just released the magnetic like wraps for the Xbox. Okay. It's basically just like a sleeve that you put around the four, longer panels, and then it has holes for where the vents are and stuff, but it magnets on. So you can, change them as much as you want and stuff. They themselves have only released 3. I haven't looked to see if there's any third-party ones you can get or not. But you can also just buy, like, stickers and stuff if you so desire, so.
Yeah. So. But yeah, that was just, I've seen a lot of, like, confused takes on it. Like, it's just kind of, like, a really random thing that was announced. Mm-hmm. But I think that's really it. Is there anything else?
I do have one thing I wanted to quickly hit. So I had mentioned Perfect Dark. I presume you have no idea what that is.
I know I saw the trailer because I did watch it like earlier. I'm just completely blanking.
Yeah. So Perfect Dark is actually a video game from 2000.
Oh.
Yes, it is an older video game, and I think it had 2. I think they were Xbox exclusives, but don't quote me on that. They came out in the 360 era around then. But
we got another Diablo.
Nobody was expecting this.
Not Diablo, Baldur's Gate.
Yeah. But yeah, nobody was expecting this at all. It was published by Rare, which I believe is an Xbox studio. Or was. Maybe. I don't know. But it's an FPS game, and it had stealth elements to it. I personally have never played it. I might play it now in anticipation of this game because it looks awesome. But this is kind of bringing the series to, modern graphics, and I think has new story elements to it. But the interesting part that I wanted to bring up is Xbox is apparently a AAA game.
Is this the opinion you wanted?
Yes.
Excuse me?
Yes. It's a AAA game.
So we're in the world where games like Terraria are indie, yet are the most popular game on Steam. So the most biggest games are indie games, and yet Xbox wants to do a quadruple game when we're in the age of indie.
Yep, it's a quadruple A game. So
what does that mean?
I went ahead and looked it up to figure it out, and apparently it is games that have exponentially high budgets. So I guess the A reflects the budget, and so that also qualifies Black Ops 6, Gears of War E-Day, and Fable all as quadruple A games because they have had butt tons of money dumped into them.
Do you think this is going to catch on? I don't.
I don't. Well, it's not as catchy as AAA games, but if the money threshold is what qualifies it as one, then it is going to be a term.
But why are they making it that?
I don't know. Why
are they deciding? Hey, we spent a lot of money, too much money on this. It's going to be a step above.
Mm-hmm. I'm guessing it's to kind of add another level of separation because in the world we have now, there's AAA and there's indie, right? That's about it. You have the big franchises and you have the indie games. I think they want to add another layer to that so that we have indie games by smaller teams and solo developers. We have AAA games that are games that you may recognize or
big franchises that are common, like Halo or something. Everyone knows Halo.
Okay. Well, I think that would end up being a quadruple just because it's so big. But Diablo.
Diablo.
And some of the older Gears games, I guess, and Dead Space, these ones are bigger games, and they definitely have high budgets, but they're not quite to the level of Call of Duty or Fable, These ones are really up here and have almost double the amount of funding that those games would. So while those ones are AAAs and definitely big games, They want another level there to kind of separate. These are the games that we have been worked on for years upon years upon years, have so much money dumped in, and come from the largest of the studios. It does mention that Crystal Dynamics is one of the big ones working on Perfect Dark here, and that's the people who made the Tomb Raider trilogy, like the new one, which got huge critical acclaims and sold exponentially well. So that's probably the thing that has now elevated it to a quadruple A studio, is the fact that they have had a hugely successful franchise like that.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. It's intriguing. I don't know how this is really going to affect things.
See, the reason I say I'm kind of scared
nice, but
is because we already are like scared of AAA. Like, we don't have confidence in AAA anymore. Look at games like the last Star Wars game and Cyberpunk. These are AAA. They had such a large budget, yet they failed miserably when it comes to performance. So now we have another step that we would assume if it's quadruple A and spent that much more money, it should perform. And if those fail, is that going to make it harder because a quadruple game failed?
That is definitely a good question. And I think
that's
going
what
to be
I'm kind
tough
of worried
because
about.
I think one of these qualifiers is the fact that it's had so many years worked on, right? Like Perfect Dark has been in the work for, I believe, 5 years now. Black Ops 6
was
4 years. And then Fable got announced, in 2018?
Does that make
I think
GTA
it was
6 quadruple?
I guess so, yeah. It would make it a quadruple A. But yeah, like these games have had so much time in the pipeline, and I think that's kind of the definer on what's going to make it, quality or not. Because, like, obviously they have super high budgets, but the fact that they have spent so much time making these right, I think the chance of them being buggy or bad upon release is a lot slimmer, because even those AAA games that you mentioned, like the Star Wars one, they were only in the pipeline for like 3 years, I think. So, all in all, like, yes, it's a negative sign, but it's also a good sign, because that means more time and more money put into these games. So hopefully they come out a lot cleaner than AAAs.
I looked up quadruple A, and the first big thing I see is Ubisoft CEO dubs Skull and Bones a quadruple A in February. I don't know. I'll have to look into that. That's very interesting. I'll do that later. Okay. Anything else, or do we want to end with some Call of Duty? Because I got a whole bunch of the random Call of Duty facts, and we could talk about some of it.
I think that's about it, so we can hop over to yours.
Cool. So I got 8 main points with a little sub-points to everything, and this is everything that is confirmed. There's a few people that were able to go out and play. They did sign an NDA, so we don't know opinions, but these are like the facts from the Call of Duty Direct and everything. By the way, did you watch the Call of Duty Direct?
Yeah, I did.
Was it kind of interesting to see some of the background, like when they were doing the kill animations and stuff?
Yeah, definitely.
So that was kind of cool. So we're going to start off with Classic Prestige. So like we've said before, JJ has not played as much Call of Duty as me. This is like one of those really small things, but I'm very excited for. So at launch, we're going to have 10 prestiges. Then after you get to the 10th prestige, you're going to be able to get to level 1000. So every prestige is 55 levels. Then you go back to level 1 and you lose everything that's unlocked. Now, you might keep your gun's levels. So if you unlock this gun at level 17, and then that gun is level 15 and has these attachments, you go back to level 1, and when you get to 17, you have those attachments still. You just won't have the gun unlocked. Does that make sense? So that's how it is, and you do that 10 times, and then you can get to level 1000. Now, we haven't had that since Black Ops 4, but what they also said is this going to have some really cool rewards, and this will be the most rewarding prestige system to date. So what we've had since Modern Warfare 2019 is like this seasonal leveling where you get like a few hundred levels every season. So it's like, oh, hey, new season. I can go from level 200 to 300. That's it. And then you're capped. You can't go higher until the new season. This will all be available at launch. And the other thing that's going to be nice is there is a fresh restart, which will completely wipe everything. Your stats, your playtime, your level, your camos, everything is wiped. Yeah. But that's just a cool thing, because then you unlock a calling card for it, which I've done a few times, which is really funny. So it just gives the player more chance and choice, instead of just, I don't want a prestige, but you do, because it's just level 50 to 100. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah, this will definitely probably be the most grindable Call of Duty game ever.
So that's really cool. Next up is maps. They're all 3-lane maps, which we've had some really awkward, like, you know, with these really awkward hiding spots and just really poor designed maps for years. They're going back to the roots. They're going to be all 3-lane, which Treyarch is known for. They're all going to be mid to small size, so we're not going to have any big ones. There's 16 brand new maps. They said brand new. There's going to be 12 6v6 maps at launch and 4 strike team maps, which can be either played in 2v2, which is like this gunfight mode where it's first to 6 wins, and every 2 rounds your loadout changes, but everyone has the same loadout. So that's like a fun thing, and that's going to be played on smaller maps. But what's going to be interesting is they will also be available at 6v6. So think of an even smaller arena from X-Defiant, and it's 2v2, but you have the option to play 6v6 on a really small map like that. And there's going to be 4 of those. Everyone loves Shipment, Nuketown, Rust. You know all those from COD Mobile and stuff. We're going to have 4 of those maps. Again, though, all brand new.
Cool.
Movement. So I'm going to end with the one. There is going to be corner slicing, where when you go around the corner, your gun kind of tilts. We've had leaning before, where you can kind of mount along a wall, but this is going to be a purely visual thing, and it'll automatically go back to normal when you're fully around the corner. So it's just going to be kind of a more in-depth type thing, visually, which is cool. Intelligent movement. Did you see this stuff? What'd you think about this? I've seen mixed takes.
I'm interested to see how this goes, because I will say personally, one of the most annoying things in Call of Duty games for me is when people do a little shimmy around my bullets. It's kind of annoying because they've kind of memorized how to move the ragdoll, and so you're able to just like shimmy around the bloom of a weapon, and it's just annoying as heck. So having a more realistic movement is going to be a lot more...
I don't think that's what the intelligent movement is at all.
Yes, it is.
It's the button presses. So if you turn it on, you just don't have to press X to like mantle.
Well, that's been in games for years. Look at Minecraft Auto Jump.
I know, but just in Call of Duty, like it's going to learn. So it will crouch for you if you're going against something. It will hurdle for you. All of this, and you can pick and choose if you want this. So if you want to specifically pick to hurdle, you can have that and everything else be auto or everything off. There's a whole bunch of other things, but it's just less button presses. They showed it off. There was like 7 button presses down to 0. So it's not like the
I don't think anybody's going to use it.
I mean, it's going to be good for controller players. Like I said, like having to spam X like 6 times or your joystick, especially with the other feature that's coming, I can see this being very useful because it's going to be very jank on controller.
I could see it being helpful, but I could also see it being quite the agitator for a lot of players.
I think
they're like in a cool combat, and then they accidentally push into a crate a little too far, and I just crouched and his bullet hit my head.
This is all features that can be turned off specifically. You can choose it. And I feel like this is going to be one of those things that's going to be more for casuals, especially if you're on keyboard and mouse or you're a pro and you're definitely better at the game. I don't see myself using this because I want to be on keyboard and mouse, but it's an option, which is cool to have. There's Supine Prone, which is a combination with Omni Movement. So what do you think of Omni Movement?
That's crazy, bro.
So
they're copying Fortnite. It's the movement from Fortnite.
No, it's Max Payne. Actually, it's more like Black Ops 4 Blackout, the original Call of Duty.
Sigh.
No. So it looks really cool. So pretty much what it is you're going to be able to dive in all directions and sprint in all directions. So you can keep sprinting while walking backwards or to the side. But then if you're sprinting to the side, you can then dive to the side and then shoot. And then Supine Prone is if you're prone like normal. It's always been you're on your stomach. And if you turn around, it's very slow. You pretty much turn onto your back. Visually, it looks different for you, like in field of view, like in your first person. It looks the same, just a little faster. But for them, you're turning around on your back to shoot them. So it's a really quick, like 180 flick type thing while you're prone. So I'm very excited to see where this is. This is something, though, that I've seen almost everyone say, wait till you get a first-hand experience. They're saying we might never go back, but I've also seen people saying this is just going to feel like a gimmick and might just kind of feel obsolete like some of the other movement options they've had in the last few years. So it looks really interesting, but I'm going to wait till I play to really do something, because Call of Duty movement's always been a little awkward and jank and unique. So
yeah,
movement. That's going to be big changes. Zombies. I'm very excited for zombies. So at launch, we're going to have 2 round-based zombies. We've had these like really weird open world zombie maps for the last few years, and people haven't really liked it. The story isn't there. There's just a lot less lore and story, and it's just very awkward. Easter eggs aren't there. So we're going to have 2 at launch. One of them will continue the Aether story, which is like a specific storyline. I'm not too into the zombie story, and I want to get back into it. So I'm going to have to do some reviews leading up to it, but it's going to be a continuation of that. We're going to have crews back. So in Zombie, you can choose whatever character you want to use, right? So kind of like a Fortnite skin. And especially nowadays, because you have like Nicki Minaj. You can be Nicki Minaj playing zombies. Does that sound cool? Most people actually hate that. Because they changed it to operators, which allow you for the customization. And what that does is there's no distinct crew. And the crew actually has lore. There's bantering going on between the characters that have story implications and actually like have more lore to them. And because we've had the operators, we haven't had that option. So we're getting a crew back. A distinct 4-person that is like running the game. But there's the option to use operators, so everyone's happy. So if you don't care too much and you just want to survive around 100, cool. You could be whatever character you want. But if you really care about zombies and the story, there's a crew for you as well. So that's really cool. And there's gobble gums, which are special power-ups that can do a lot of different things. You can either make them when you kill zombies, everyone just floats up. They can have beach ball heads. Or you can get Perkaholic. So you've played zombies, right? Like different perks and stuff where you get like Juggernaut, all that. Perkaholic gives you all of them at once. Just like that. Now that sounds overpowered. The way Gobble Gums worked is you would take one at the beginning of every round for free, or you can buy them. But you have a limited amount. You have to open like supply drops for them. And then if you die with it, you lose it. And a lot of people would actually just force quit the game because they died with Perkaholic and then they didn't want to lose it. So they just quit the game. It was really bad. But, so they're coming back, and that's a really cool thing. But what's really cool is they've also said they're going to be earnable in-game, meaning they are no longer a paid-to-win feature, and it's just a really fun mechanic that everyone can engage in. So that's really cool. So a lot of these I'm just really excited about because it's just listening to the community, and it's just so much more consumer-friendly. The crew and operators, Gobble Gums are free. You know, controller movement for casuals, like, you know, losing button presses if you don't want to. So that's a lot of cool things. Number 5, Winner Circle. We haven't had this since Black Ops 3. So you know how we have like MVP in X-Defiant? It's gonna be like that. The top 3 players of the winning team will be there. But what's cool about this is there's also going to be emotes. So there are some really cursed emotes in Black Ops 3, like dabbing and like twerking and stuff. It was really funny. And that's going to be a feature too. So it's going to be top 3 just on score. It's not going to be like, oh, this guy had the best achievement of like 3 KD. It's just pure score. But that's really cool. I personally like it. I haven't seen too many people excited for it, but I think it's going to be cool. And just another thing that I'm hoping maybe we can earn some free emotes or something for your Winner Circle. Theater mode at launch. Theater mode's like replay mode in Fortnite, but for whatever reason, not every Call of Duty has it. So Cold War did have it, the last Treyarch game, and it's just like a lot of people are saying, please use this, so hopefully it can come to the other ones, because I believe it used to be in the original like Modern Warfare games. It just hasn't been in most of them. It's only been in Black Ops games. Really weird. So that's coming back. Just again, another thing that people are excited about. Custom GUI. What do you think about that for a game like this? Because I feel like we don't see that like often in a game like this. What'd you think?
You cut out. What'd you say?
The custom GUI. We don't really see that much in games like this where you can really customize it. So, but we're allowed to. We can change the size of the map. We can put everything in the middle of the screen if you don't want to look away. Or if you're a streamer, you can move the map just slightly down so your face cam isn't blocking it.
I think for practical reasons that's going to be really nice, but I also think you're going to very easily be able to tell the difference between sweats and casuals using this.
Probably.
You're going to roll up and the casual's going to have like big UI being like, oh yes, I can very nicely see all of my little numbers. And then the sweats are going to have everything minuscule down in one corner so that they can have the most visual range possible.
The map is crucial, which I'm also hoping. We don't know too much. There's been a lot of struggle with the map. We just haven't had a good mini map. So I'm hoping that's good. But finally, there's some campaign stuff. It's set in the early 1990s. We actually got a timeline for it, which is really cool. So it goes, I think it was Black Ops, it was War at War technically, but it was Black Ops 1, Cold War, prequel Black Ops 2, this game, Black Ops 6, sequel Black Ops 2, Black Ops 4, Black Ops 3. So Black Ops 2 actually had these dual storylines going on where you went back in time. Like, there was one mission that was really cool where you like had to ride through like an artillery strike on horses in the desert of like Iran or something. But then you're also in the future and set in 2025 or 2035, and we had like futuristic like vehicles that you can drive and, you know, scanners through walls, like futuristic stuff. But it was in the same story, and now they're both canon. Like, this timeline is officially from Call of Duty. So that's going to be really cool. There's a lot of stuff from the timeline, like the 1980s or whatever it was set in, for Black Ops 2 that's going to be crucial here. Some characters have died, some are crippled, whole bunch of stuff like that. It's going to be... I think you're going to like this campaign a lot, because it seems like it's going to be a lot more espionage and stealth and spy.
Yeah, that definitely sounds right up my alley.
So that looks really cool. But what I'm also looking forward to is they said you're going to want to replay missions multiple times because you can do it multiple ways. So you might be able to do it stealthily, but you might be able to go in guns a-blazing and it can change the outcome or just be a vastly different experience. So that's going to be really cool. There's a safe house, which is on the side of a mountain. And I'm just really excited to see like PS5 graphics and stuff and maybe PS5 Pro and just how well that's going to look. But that's going to be the safe house where you can collect, you choose different missions, you customize your class and stuff. But it's also apparently an expired KBG black site, which is the Russians.
Yeah.
And you're going to have a lot of stuff you can explore there and secrets and story that you can experience while you're there. So there's a lot of really cool stuff for almost every game mode. Like, I'm so excited. And like I said, all of this is confirmed. Nothing of this is like, we might have, we are getting all of this.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to mention that you saw in the thing or that you're really excited about or something?
I don't think so.
I mean, are you excited for the Vault bundle? Are you going to get it? Because you can only get it for $30.
I was debating it. I know. I was looking. If I enjoy the game, I'll probably get it. But as of now, it's too early to tell if it's something
you're
I'll
not
actually
really
end
a
up
COD
playing.
player, so who knows how it's going to turn out.
Yeah.
I got it. I'm very excited. And I'm very excited just to see the future of the game if we're getting these kind of mastercrafts instead of just really generic blueprints that just make the gun blue.
Mm-hmm. I did just find this tweet about the PS5 Pro specs, and apparently Sony has been taking down anything that is talking about these specs. So, okay, so here's what it lists. It says 2 to 3 times faster ray tracing, sometimes 4 than the base PS5. 45% faster rendering.
We saw
than
this.
Base
This
PS5.
is like we've seen these stats
the
before.
PSSR, the Sony's own upscaling,
custom AI,
the teraflops though. 67 teraflops.
It's 67 now?
Bit. 67.
It was 33.
And
it was 30 something.
That's at 16-bit. So less power, like graphically, but the speed is going to be unreal. And then at 32-bit is
rendering
33.
speed.
It's insane. And then you have your dynamic resolution upscaling, full HDR support. It will have 8K support in the future. And that's with its high frame rates already.
That's a good way to end it, because we're out of here. So if you guys want more knowledge and all the other stuff that's going to be coming out, make sure you subscribe to Nerd Rant Podcast. Join the Discord. What do you think? Let us know in the Discord. We could have a conversation. We'll let you know some gaming news. I've been trying to keep up to date a little bit more on some of the big stuff. I did some Call of Duty and Xbox Showcase announcements. But yeah, we're also on Twitter and Instagram. Follow us on everything. Hit the bell and all that. And JJ, say something.
Do the things. Yeah. Woo.
Bye.
Bye.